Hello my fellow homo sapiens. You can now join my channel as a member to get exclusive perks like early access to videos, private community posts, and more. You can also now use super features for priority response from me. I also have a Patreon page that I put extra content on, including reactions, sins, Reddit stories, and more. If you want to fly yourself even deeper into the endless void of internet content, I've got you covered.
Guys in the car. Wanna come say hello?
You're gonna be very, very careful now.
You should be grateful that I haven't sent her back to you in a body bag yet.
Why did you join the resistance, Beto?
Well, you see, sometimes shows like to bring in someone new to a situation as an expositional surrogate for the audience. But that was kind of done in episode 1, so now I'm just kind of hanging around. Ooh, maybe I'll be part of an important mission this week in a completely unseen role.
He says all of this and then counts it as a sin without ever actually pointing out a mistake. Seriously, what was the point of this sin? Oh, that's right, he's padding the sin count in runtime.
All faith is built on risk.
Not so fast there, Skrelly. You're forgetting about that pesky faith that's built on suppressing the masses through the fear of a judgmental and omnipotent higher power.
Which is a risk, because when you suppress the masses, you're running the risk of those masses overthrowing you and subsequently losing your power. It's also risky to put your faith in any undemonstrated entity of any kind because of the potential that you could be wrong about that entity's existence.
Scene of Nick Fury opening his umbrella really fast over and over is immediately followed by a scared flock of birds that take down an airplane.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture ref.
You get it, Disney. You're really good at de-aging and you want to show it off. But I didn't need this flashback to justify that Nick Samuel L. Jackson Fury is a sexual being.
This scene gives us context on how Fury met his wife, a character who wasn't introduced until last episode. If they didn't have this scene, you'd be complaining about how we don't know where and how they met.
This should put Dracov's men on their heels.
Wait, who's Dracoff? Okay, time for a quick googly Google. All right, General Dracoff, Marvel antagonist, introduced in Black... They made a Black Widow movie, didn't they? Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Even though I agree with the fake-ass laugh, it's still a fake-ass laugh.
Our unit doesn't exist, Fury. That means I don't work for you.
That's an intriguing possibility.
It's also a stupid loophole. If these guys want to date, then f***ing date. I promise your audience is even less concerned with Sheld rules on fraternization than trade disputes in the Star Wars prequels. In fact, I bet you'll be more concerned with how I just said Sheld.
Discount Jeremy is arguing that Marvel should be having a boss start a relationship with an employee, which would violate conflict of interest rules that exist within our real-life government. Also, Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture.
My friends, looks a hell of a lot like World War III.
How can you watch that poison?
Even the broken clock's right twice a day.
I don't know, Fury. What if a wild animal got a hold of said clock? Let's say, oh, I don't know, a fox? And what if this fox f***ed it up so bad that the poor clock doesn't have hands or numbers anymore and instead just spouts fear-mongering, hateful rhetoric with no basis in fact?
Darling, you are Nick Fury.
Stop using his name as a fear-inducing power noun. Stop it!
But why? I let these sins go in the previous video because I figured, whatever, they're throwaway sins to pad the sin count in runtime, but I also don't feel like wasting my own time by addressing them. But now you're just going way overboard. These sins are completely pointless and just waste time.
I never harbored any illusions about the necessity of you going away, but staying away. That leaves a mark.
Okay, but how long exactly does he have to be away before going away gets promoted to staying away? Actually, forget I asked. I'm feeling a sudden urge to stay away myself, so blip.
If Fury did not come back when he could have, that would be considered staying away. It doesn't matter exactly how long that would be. I mean, think about it. It would be a different amount of time in each specific scenario. This is yet another completely arbitrary sin.
I'm a good liar.
Well, she did convince Darth Maul that Beckett was at fault for Voss failing in his mission. I guess that counts.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop.
See you tomorrow, early.
Oh, early, you say? Thanks for that, Gravik. For a minute, I was worried I'd have no clue when to be ready for this very important mission, but early clears that up entirely for me.
The fact that he doesn't tell her what time to get up implies that either he'll have someone wake her up or that she already knows what he generally means by early.
It's remarkable, isn't it?
Covert meeting in an art gallery cliché. Were all the park benches, mysterious bridges, and empty churches booked by dead reckoning?
That's not a cliché. Also, Discount Jeremy makes a
It's between having my story told in ink and oil paint, or having it written in blood. I choose blood all day long.
Yeah, but have you ever tried painting in blood? It's a
skip.
Walking down the hall, my shit's still way too small. She wanna hit the mall, she tryna take it all. I pull up to her door, tryna hit it like I'm Thor. I said, I don't want no tour, let's get freaky on the floor.
Wow.
Thank you, love.
calling your server love or darling or sweetie or any other pet name. It's not cute or respectful, it's creepy and annoying. Almost as bad as leaving one of those Bible verse papers disguised to look like cash as a tip. Almost.
You're absolutely correct about all of this, but it's still not a sin. Gravik isn't supposed to be a great dude who everyone should love. He's a villain, and his actions are usually pretty despicable. It's called characterization.
You should be grateful that I haven't sent her back to you in a body bag yet.
Cool moment, but what's the point of changing into Gravik? It doesn't make them better fighters or give any real distraction advantage since the real Gravik is at the table. Was it because you needed this shot for the trailer to get people to watch Secret Invasion?
Talos didn't know that everyone here was a Skrull, so everyone changing into Gravik is their way of establishing their numerical superiority.
Also, I'm assuming this brick container filled with priceless pieces of art has at least some kind of CCTV, so why are none of these numbskulls worried about being exposed?
The fact that they feel comfortable doing this implies that the cameras aren't a problem. This could be for any number of reasons, ranging from the skulls having impersonated a security guard and controlling and or wiping the cameras, to them having disabled the cameras already. Think, Aaron, think.
Not an ambush of alsos. The fact that Talos is startled by the appearance of multiple Kingsley Benadirs instead of aroused. Amused.
Discount Jeremy has a boner.
Also, please ignore any seeming correlation between the above sin and
Skip.
series is halfway over, and Emilia Clarke has spent at least 66% of her screen time waiting in cars.
Discount Jeremy still doesn't understand the concept of a getaway driver.
Aha! Being the man of the world that I am, I have one English friend, and they informed me that Talos has carelessly exposed himself here by eating the worst part of the English breakfast first. The tomato is mostly decorative, but if you have to eat it, you do so last so that your final memory of that plate of grease was a marginally healthy one. Also, whichever animal decided this poor man deserved to have his toast with extra carcinogen sprinkles. Also, where's the black pudding? And the beans? And the sausage? What maniac?
Every time you were promoted inside S.H.I.E.L.D., we did that. Every terror attack you prevented, we did that.
Talos does that for all of the sometime. Did that for all of the sometime. This, does this, that, we did that thing, he does it. Look, this scene goes on for a bit, okay?
Yeah, well, so does this cringeworthy sin, so here you go.
You got any more abuse you want to hurl my way?
Mistaking the truth for abuse.
Pointing things out on the screen.
Fury kills the guard on sight, which is totally cool because he's a Skrull, and those refugees, am I right? But did Fury know that for certain? If not, then he just murdered a British officer who was literally just doing their job, and post-1777, that's rather frowned upon.
Yeah, and your point is? Nobody ever said that Fury would be opposed to doing that, so I don't know what you're sinning here. Let me remind you yet again, you're not supposed to be sinning things for being bad in real life. You're supposed to be sinning the show.
Overt communication devices that have bright lights. Makes sense if you want to spoon feed the audience how you're speaking to your buddy. Makes less sense if you're practicing top-tier spycraft.
I love how he complains about them spoon-feeding this information to us when he's complained about not understanding how characters are communicating countless times before.
What you working on over there, Bob?
The implication here is that a military commander can track the position of a submarine carrying nuclear missiles from a home computer, and I'm just going to go ahead and call bull scroll on this whole thing. I hope.
So you're going to claim that it's unrealistic without providing any sort of evidence? It doesn't even matter if he's correct about this. The sin here is for not backing up your claim.
Why don't you shapeshift back into this piece of trash and call in an abort on that missile strike? Maybe because he's the only one who knows the code word.
Making Fury as dumb as the audience so that we'll understand the plan, but accidentally making him dumber than the audience, who clearly figured out it wouldn't be as easy as this through context clues.
Let's not pretend that you can figure things out through context clues. The rest of us did, sure, but not you.
I want to talk to CENTCOM. These are CENTCOM's orders. Either you obey, or you'll be removed.
Okay, so the launch of this missile will require both of these guys to scan their key cards and flick some switches. So why didn't Gravik replace this clearly hesitant officer as well as this first guy? Having said that, did he need to replace either of them? If the orders are coming from Commodore Bob, then wouldn't they be followed regardless?
What the hell is any of this bullshit? Neither of these guys got replaced because none of the characters in this show have the ability to see the future. Nobody knew this situation would arise before it did. As for you saying the order should be followed because they came from Bob, the guy was hesitant because it's such a drastic order. They're being told to launch a nuclear missile, my guy. That's not exactly the same as being told to finish up some spreadsheets for Laura in accounting.
I'm giving you 3 seconds to give me that code, or I'm gonna aim higher, or maybe lower.
Does that threat really carry as much weight on a Skrull? We've seen them change their shape and even mass, so couldn't they just temporarily relocate their dangly bits?
We don't know if they can do that, so this sin is based on an unconfirmed assumption.
You can't even keep your daughter's loyalty.
Talos is all about pacifism until somebody mentions his daughter, and then he goes all Marty McFly, don't call me chicken, or Batman, why did you say that name? Or Will Smith at the Oscars.
Discount Jeremy makes 3 pop culture ref.
This guard is one of the worst guards to ever guard, and instead of coming up with a clever way to beat this man while he's down, we'll just let his work speak for itself.
It would have made more sense for you to have gone a different route with this sin. Instead of sinning the guards' actions, I would have sinned the fact that they have what look like assault rifles in this very confined space, as opposed to a more compact CQC weapon like a submachine gun. The whole reason he fails to beat Daenerys is because he struggles with readying his weapon, which is way too large for the situation at hand.
Having this many memories about soccer, that's just sad, England.
Fuck you.
I hear the first thing they teach you at motorcycle school is to immediately hit the deck at the first sign of any oncoming headlights. It's really the safest thing to do.
Discount Jeremy doesn't know what being startled is. Which is even worse, given that she's already on edge and running from the people she betrayed. She made a believable mistake, is what I'm saying.
Are you a leader of Skrulls? Or a worst enemy?
Rough way to go, but still beats her Game of Thrones arc.
I agree with you, but you still made a pop culture ref.
What? If you think she's dead, why bother driving around the body? What possible reason could you have for swerving like this?
Respect for the dead? Yes, there's no practical reason for it, but a lot of people would consider it highly disrespectful to run over an already dead body.
Ooh, safety deposit box, mysterious gun, ominous phone call. What could it all mean? Spy shit is happening.
This is one of those weird sins where Discount Jeremy chooses a scene from the episode out of a hat to randomly call boring, and it's painfully obvious that it's yet more padding the sin count in runtime.